Joining us now, star-studded panel, Liz Peek, syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, Rachel Campos-Duffy, host of the brand new Spanish-language show. I'm going to blow this, but I'll try. Fox Noticias.
Fox Noticias.
Noticias.
You did it.
Noticias. I know. And I've got practice on it.
Good.
That's airing weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox Deportes. Deportes. They slipped that in, that Deportes.
You did good.
That's brand new. And Kennedy, co-host of Outnumbered. Okay, ladies, thank you very much. It sounds to me, I'll go to you, Rachel, first. Go to you. You're a special guest. You're all special guests. Actually, Kennedy's a special guest. Never been on this set.
Oh, Larry, thank you.
He sounded very much on message. That's the point I want to make. When you go down through inflation, economy, border, and then even to the extent of merit-based immigration policies, which is so important. He got a standing ovation at the Chicago Economics Club. I don't know if it was standing. He got a huge ovation at the Chicago Economics Club yesterday when he responded to this liberal left host and said, you know what, I'm for immigration, but I'm for legal immigration. Yeah. And I think it sounds like he's made the same point here.
Yeah, you know, what I think he's been doing well is he's been staying on message. He's not going to get distracted. They want him to talk about abortion, and he did what he had to do there, but he's like, I'm on message. I'm going to talk about the economy. I'm going to talk about the inflation, because no matter who you are, you're worried about that. And then I think if you compare that to the clip that you showed before of Kamala Harris on that radio show on Charlemagne, was that Charlemagne the God? She got distracted by reparations. She's like, yeah, I'm for that, and I'll be for that. And so I think that's the difference, right? One candidate knows exactly who he is, and he's going to give the same message in the Bronx as he's giving in rural Wisconsin or wherever he's at. And the other one keeps shifting and turning because she's not confident. She's afraid of making decisions. And when she's in an environment like an interview like we're here, she's going to say whatever Larry wants to hear, you know, if that's the case.
No, Kenny, you saw this thing from start to finish, I think. Did you see it from start to finish?
I saw some of it.
I saw a little bit of it myself, that's all. But let's go back to that. You know, she's talking about $14 trillion in reparations. I don't think most Americans know what reparations are, by the way. And reparations infers something recent, not something hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And, of course, the Biden-Harris have already bankrupted us in the first place. So I don't know what that has to do. What I do think people are worried about is prices, economic outlook. Can you afford to buy a new home? Are we going to close the border? Can we bottle up the crime wave that's probably come from the border in large measure? That's what's given Trump, I think, a lead right now and has changed the race. He's on message. She doesn't have a message. And her message changes, as Rachel said, almost on a daily basis, depending on who she talked to last.
But her values haven't changed.
And it's like, well, what does that mean? So if you're playing the hits and your values haven't changed, so what your values originally were, that's what your values are today. So that's what it means when you say my values haven't changed. Well, in 2019, she was for defunding the police. You know, in 2019, she was against fracking. She was for confiscating wealth. So you have to assume she's for all of those things. You know, and so let's say the conservative estimates for reparations would be $5 trillion. If you confiscated all the wealth of the wealthiest people in this country, all the billionaires, it doesn't even equal that low estimate. So there's no way of doing it. What she should say is, I want more of you to be billionaires. I want those young black men in these underserviced schools to dream about what they can do. I want this to be an aspirational economy so you can take your dreams, put them into action, and you can be the one at the table in the future. But she can't even articulate that.
Before we get to Liz, let's play some tape on Trump's middle-class agenda from the Faulkner Focus today.
Could you outline your plans to revitalize the economy again as president and policies that specifically support the middle class when reelected?
We have tremendous wealth in this country, but it's under our feet. It's called liquid gold. And we're going to bring down your energy costs. And with that, everything's going to follow. We're also going to make it possible for companies to come into our country again. We have a tax rate that's going to lure them, and we're going to protect them with tariffs so they can make money and so they don't get stolen. But we're going to have record-setting jobs.
All right. We got that. And do we have one more on immigration? We have one more on immigration. We skipped over it here in the teleprompter, but I want to go back to it. Here's full immigration answer, please.
We have to take these murderers that they've allowed to come through open borders without knowing anything about them. We have to take those people and we have to remove them. But we also want to have people come in. You know, we actually need people. You need the people. But they're going to come in through testing. They're going to come in through, like, do they love our country? Can they love our country?
Yes, we had a point system last year. The Trump administration never got through because ran out of time. The clock ran out. Liz, what do you think of his message? Across the board.
I think it's an excellent message across the board. It appeals, by the way, not just to women, but to men. It appeals to the entire country. She is continuing the Obama approach of slicing and dicing the population. As Rachel said, she really is just kind of, it's like a bowling ball going from lane to lane. I mean, it's just not particularly authentic, to put it mildly. But I think this... I think that she is exposed as someone who doesn't mean what she says. And I think everyone agrees that Donald Trump, you may not like what he says, but he's authentic. He's out there saying what he really believes. And what he really believes is the government should be on the side of the people. It should be empowering the people, not empowering the bureaucrats. And I really, I think that's hitting home. I think that is.
From day one.
And by the way, can I just, on this immigration thing, I do remember the immigration policy that you guys put out there, and guess what? It was very popular, if you remember.
I know.
right?
Democrats wouldn't let us take a vote.
Yeah.
Almost from day one, Kamala Harris has been unable to convince people that what she says is what she believes. And as Kennedy said, she dropped back with that values business.
Yeah.
So if your values haven't changed and your policies have, we have a disconnect. That disconnect does not bode well for her. I just think it's a phony candidacy, and it's plagued her from day one. Rachel, she's losing Hispanic votes. Trump's gaining Hispanic votes.
It's true.
Women, she's going to win the women, okay? I get that. On the other hand, Trump has made tremendous strides with respect to men, young men. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you do star in this nude show.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is coming. Some of it's blacks, to be sure, African American. A lot of it's Hispanic.
A lot of it's Hispanic.
Young Hispanic men going to Trump. What's your theory?
Here's my theory. Young Hispanic men still have this culture, our culture, Hispanic culture, still very traditional. What do they aspire to? To have a family, to get married, to prosper, to provide, and yes, to protect. Those are still values that are, and it is so hard. So the largest population are these young Hispanic men. It's huge. And so they're looking at launching in life. In this economy, it's impossible. And so it's an economic issue for them. I will say with the women, they're saying it's really bad that Donald Trump says he wants to protect women. I'm going to tell you, Hispanic women like that idea. Protect me from high prices. Protect me from crime. Protect my kids when they go jogging on their college campus. So the protection message, that masculine, strong, decisive, the opposite of Kamala Harris, I think is very appealing to Hispanics.
All right, one more piece of tape. Trump on men and women in sports. Hang on, Kennedy, we're coming to you.
Okay.
We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. I mean, physically, from a muscular, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. You just ban it. The president bans it. You just don't let it happen.
That got a lot of applause, Kenny. That's got a lot of applause. And look I just want to add one little thing here. You don't have to be making value judgments about trans or non-trans. This is a different idea. This seems to me about fairness. Biological men should not compete in women's sports. That's different. Now, there are a lot of trans issues. I don't frankly want to go into those issues right now, but he's making a separate point, a narrower point, and I think that's where he picks up tremendous support.
Yeah, and I think this idea of forcing biological men into women's sports, it's actually worse for the trans community. It actually puts trans people at risk. It doesn't elevate the conversation, but it activates moms. It certainly activates moms who are protective of their daughters, because all you want is for your kid to be happy. And if your kid can be happy playing sports, that feels like a level of success. But when they're having to compete against someone who can actually hurt them, it feels like an injustice. It feels like, our rationality is upside down.
It's un-American.
And
It's
a lot of
un-American.
independent
It's
voters are
unfair.
just looking to someone to sort of right us.
It's not
once
what we
again.
do in this country. It's
Shouldn't
just
be.
not what we do with this country. So, Liz, 3 weeks to go.
I know. I can't
Has the
believe
tide
it.
turned? I mean, seriously,
Oh.
political, has there been a change in the momentum?
Without a doubt. I mean, if the betting odds are at all realistic, that shows a tremendous change in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think what happened is her thing just ran out of steam because there isn't any meat on the bones. There's no policy backup to all the sort of aspirational baloney that she was spouting for so long. And she can't run on that. And I think even Democrats, I spent about 3 hours reading all the Democrat columnists and everything about what they think. They think she needs to do something.
I thought you looked a little peaked.
I mean, it really was kind of educational. Maureen Dowd, everybody's got advice for her. Well, they all want
Actually,
her to change.
Maureen Dowd's pretty smart.
Yeah, and she was like, where's your vision? It was interesting. I thought her comment was, didn't she ever take a yellow pad and say, why do I want to be president? Here are the reasons. Here's my policies. I thought that was pretty brilliant because clearly she has no idea why she wants to be president.
No one's buying it either. Rachel, give us a couple seconds on your new show. Want to be
Our show is Fox Noticias. It airs on the Fox Deportes channel, the Fox Sports channel, but you can also catch it on Fox's YouTube channel and also on Fox Nation. It's a 1 hour news show. We're doing news, culture, sports, everything. It's great.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's time for it.
It's time for it. I can feel it. Liz Peek, Kennedy, and Rachel Campos-Duffy, good luck on it all.